Hello Barstool, we are the Bieber family and we own Beebs Sports Bar and Grill in Livermore, California, and we just wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity. What you're doing for small businesses around the country is absolutely incredible, and we are beyond grateful to even be considered for a little assistance throughout this whole process. What we're going to do first is give you a quick little tour of our facility so you get a vibe for Beebs, that's right, and then we'll sit down and give you our story, okay? So come on, follow me. I'm going to hand off my little guy here. All right. So Beebs Sports Bar and Grill is a very family-friendly facility, also sports-oriented, as you can tell. This is where all the breakfast, lunch, and dinner rushes used to happen. We have about 24 tables in here. And over here is where all the video games or the kids' action is at. Families always feel really comfortable coming in. Kids kind of do their thing. They're safe while families eat and drink and watch whatever sports they desire. We're gonna head over this way and meet some of our staff that we've been able to keep on throughout this. So this is Beto. He's the man behind the scenes. Beto, how long have you been with us?
Hi. How long?
Yes, how many years?
Almost 12.
Almost 12 years. That's awesome. And your brother worked here before, right?
Yeah.
How many years was he here?
My brother is almost 10, I think.
10 years? Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
This is Enrique. He's one of our head chefs. Enrique, how long have you been with us?
I'm working here for 8 years.
8 years, that's right. Awesome, thank you. And Jen, our GM, you basically live here.
Feels like it.
How many years have you been with us?
I think I'm going on to 24, 25.
24, 25 years, that's right. She is basically the magician behind the scenes. And this is Patrick, one of our head bartenders. Pat, how long have you been with us?
5 years.
5 years, yes. These are all amazing people, and we are so happy that we've been able to keep them on throughout all this. We're gonna head on over to the bar area. This is the famous Beebs bar, where all the magic happens on the football Sundays. Here we go. As you can see, no service at the moment, but it's okay. We will get there one day. Heading out to the patio. We have a wraparound patio, which is just fantastic view of the public golf course that we are so lucky to be situated on. As you know, outdoor dining is no longer allowed, and so all of our tables and chairs are up and put away. We have been lucky enough in this process to have golfers be able to do to-go, which has been a little bit of a savior. Okay, now we are heading in to the banquet area, and this is the banquet room that we host a multitude of events, everything from weddings to celebrations of life to birthday parties, retirement parties, you name it. We do it all in here, and we were actually able to use this space to seat more when we were allowed indoor dining to up our capacity. Okay, I'm gonna hand this off to Jen. And we're now going to give you the story of Beebs Sports Bar and Grill. This is my father, Dan, my mother, Jean, and my son, Logan. We're having technical difficulties. Hold on a second. Okay, so go ahead and start off with the story of Beebs.
Well, first of all, as Lauren mentioned, we were thrown into this last night, so 37 years, there's a lot to go over, but we'll try to cover the highlights. My name is Dan. I grew up, actually, we're in Livermore, California at the Las Positas Golf Course. I'm sorry, our third generation's having a bed here.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
We thought you could get through with a couple of toys. We have been here since 1984. We bought the small business in 1984. And as I said, I grew up here in town on a small farm, graduated from Livermore High School. And my wife, Jean, grew up about 15 minutes from here. So we are local, and we are a family-run business. When we first took this over, it was quite an exciting time for us. We had never been in business before. Jeannie and I met in a restaurant as servers together. We got married, came home, had $162 left in the bank, and said, let's try to start a business. So we were fortunate enough to run into a gentleman who wanted to sell us this facility, and we took it over. Let's see, we have faced a number of obstacles over the course of our 37 years here. Our facility burned to the ground back in 1988, and we ended up working out of portable trailers for 5.5 years. It was rather devastating financially, but we survived. We've gone through 3 major floods here. We're in the middle of a flood zone, and we've recovered from all of that, as well as the recession back in 09, 10, and 11. But that came at a cost. We're running deficits, of course, and we ended up having to borrow against our house to get through all of that, which we did. Sadly, we have been unable to pay all of that back, but that's okay. We stayed alive. Even after all of the obstacles, we're proud of what we've accomplished here in Livermore. We're part of the community. We're really a community center, and we attract every demographic that you can imagine, from businesses to families to kids to junior golf. We've had a great run. We're struggling now, obviously, because of the pandemic. And even though there are difficult times for all small businesses, our margins are such that the domino effect for this pandemic has been very difficult. First, what we do is we employ families. We realized that years and years ago, and it's been very sad and hard for us to lay off the majority of our staff. We try to keep everybody on as much as possible, and then we realized that this was going on much longer than we thought, so we streamlined the best we can, and we're trying to plow forward. Currently, we've lost about 65% of our revenue compared to the normal times, if you will. So that's been rather devastating, and now we're back into a lockdown where it's going to increase that percentage quite a bit. I would like to say that this is very different from anything we faced before. This has had a domino effect that's been very difficult, as I mentioned. First the staff, dealing with that and having to lay people off. Secondly, we're unable to support the small local vendors that we've had relationships with for years, and that's hard as well. Moving on towards, we also are very involved in the community, and we like to be involved in a lot of charitable organizations. We're unable at this point to help them as well, and they're dependent on many times small local businesses to help support them. We have health risks, of course. That's very, very different as well. We have to be concerned about the staff. We have to be concerned about our guests. And anybody, as an example, Jeannie, this has been her baby forever, this restaurant. Jeannie is immune suppressed and unable to come to work, so it's been 8 months since she's really been able to come in and make a difference here at the store. So that because of those kinds of things, there's also the fears and the anxiety that we see in our staff, in our guests. Of course, it's all across the world now, and that's a challenge. We're appreciative of our daughter reaching out to Barstool. We were unaware of this, and I'd just like to turn it over to my wife and my daughter, and they'd like to fill in the gaps. That would be fun.
Yes, and we do appreciate everything you're doing to help small businesses. It's like my husband said, it's been a really rough time. But what we would do with the money is of course, if we're selected, is we would pay our static bills, but most importantly, we would bring back as much staff as we could and continue to pay all the health plans that we're supporting right now also. So we appreciate this, what you're doing for everybody across the United States. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and once again, thank you. I think the hardest part about all this, not only just, not having the ability to support all of our staff, is this is a multi-generational restaurant, whether it's customers, staff, and us. We've watched children grow up and then have their own children. They bring them in to play the video games and hang out, or golf lessons outside. My grandparents all worked here. I'm working here. It's been my dream to see my son run around inside this restaurant. So you just really hope that this will be open and available for everyone's opportunity to keep it into the next generation. And also something that's, I think the biggest thing for me is watching my parents. They built literally the American dream from the ground up. And this is a time in their life where they're supposed to be stepping back and relaxing and really, really taking advantage of their fruit of their very hard-earned labor and They can't do that, and that's just, it's unfair. It's unfair to everyone, and you know, they deserve this so much, and with your help, I mean, I can't even tell you the difference it would make to just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and yeah, and to have Beebs go on for another 37 years would be absolutely fantastic. So we love you, Barstool. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
hope to be hearing from you.
Thanks.
Thank you.